Hi guys, this is Sam from Obsidian. This is a new video tryout we're doing. We're basically going to run through some changes that have been made to the ABHR site, all in a video format so that you can see exactly what the changes are and how to make changes to the site, because there are a couple of new updates there. As you can see, we've got the bulk handling site here. It's running in Chrome. It might look slightly different in a couple of places as we go through, but on the whole it will be pretty much the same. Now we'll click through to the Equipment Services Guide. This is where all the changes have been made. The first thing you'll notice, I'm going to click this link here and it comes straight up. That page has been cached, so it will come up much faster. There is one little qualifier which we'll cover later that just means you need to refresh the page inside the system when you make changes. Okay, the next noticeable change is we've added columns to the pages. I'm going to go into drum fillers because I know there's quite a few items in here. We scroll down. Now there's two columns of items on each page. Basically that will allow you to enter many more items, or many more visible items on each page. The next thing I'm going to do is add a new entry. To do this, obviously I need to log in. I'll log in as Obsidian. So we're logged in here. Now, what we need to do is add a new entry to the site. If we click Add New, just like you would when you're creating documents, you'll see that there are 3 entries at the top, starting with ABHR. These are the ones that are relevant to the Equipment Services Guide. The ABHR Manager is a special type. We only ever need one of them on the site, and it's already on the site, so you'll never need to add one of them. There are 2 ABHR searchable entries and entries. Now, these two are almost exactly the same on the inside. There is one subtle difference. The searchable entry is searchable. Now, the reason for the 2 kinds is when you do a keyword search on the site, you only want one entry per product to come up. So that will be the searchable entry. You can have many other entries for that product in different categories. These are represented as ABHR entries. So for this first entry, what I'm going to do is add an ABHR searchable entry. So here we are at the searchable entry addition page. I've pre-filled some of these so that you don't get to watch me type because it's quite slow and error prone. You'll see here most of the fields are familiar. Database ID, we've set it up so that it defaults to -1. Whenever you're creating manual entries, this should be set to -1. We keep scrolling down past a bunch of familiar fields. We get to brand detail. Now we'll come back to that one shortly. There's a little bit of magic in behind that one. Keep going down. We've got our familiar logo image. These are the images that are currently on the site. There is essentially no change to the way they work. They still scale with the same aspect ratio as we've seen. Now, to overcome the issues where we've got, for instance, a very wide logo, we've added 2 new image types. These are header image and inline image. These don't have to be uploaded at all, but if they are uploaded, they will display in their relevant place before the scaled logo image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a header image for Obsidian. I'll just jump through and open that, and an inline image. I'll grab a similar logo and I'm going to hit save. That will just take a second. It's got to upload the images. As you can see, it's dropped the Obsidian Consulting image right in the middle. If we go up to the drum fillers, we should see the other image I've uploaded right here. Now, as you can see, it hasn't scaled that. It's added it at exactly the size I've uploaded it. That's important because it means you can scale the images, you can cut them, you can trim them however you need to, and they will display exactly as you upload to the site. Now, going back to the Obsidian consulting item, I might want to add us to some other categories. If you recall, I was speaking earlier about the difference between an ABHR entry and an ABHR searchable entry. What we want to do is add ABHR entries. This is the searchable one. We want to add non-searchable ones. So there's a new tab that's appeared at the top of this page. It's called Create Extra Entry. What that will do is take all of the details you've entered and put it in an ABHR entry. That will save you a lot of typing. So I'll click this. That will take a second. New non-searchable item created. Now cut and paste into desired categories. You'll notice that the address has changed slightly. We're now up on the equipment services A to Z rather than in the drums category where we started. What I'm going to do now is cut this as the instruction suggests. Go to our equipment and services guide, and we also make aspirators. Enter this, and I'm going to actions, paste it in here. Now, if we scroll down, here's our Obsidian logo, and further down, there's the Obsidian entry. I'll click into this, and as you can see, all the fields are pre-filled. So we've got our ABHR entry sitting here in the aspirators category. What we actually want to do is create a new category. So to do this, the first thing we'll do is copy this so that we can paste it again later. Go up to our equipment services A to Z. So this is our list of categories. We want to add a new folder. Now each of the categories here is just a folder on the site. We'll click folder. We'll add in a web consultant and hit save. Now we also need to tell it to display itself as an ABHR directory view. And now we'll paste what we copied before, being the Obsidian entry, and it appears below. Now, going back to the equipment and services guide A to Z. If we scroll down and look for web consultants, there's nothing there. The reason for this is that this page is now cached. So in order to update it, we need to go to our ABHR manager. Now there are two ways to do that. You can go straight to it in URL, or a favorite if you happen to have it saved, or you can go to contents, and starting with A, it's going to be right up the top. We'll click in on that. You might have seen this view before. If not, doesn't matter. The thing that we're looking for is across the top, refresh root folder view. Clicking this will basically go through, find all of those categories, and add them to the front page. Now we scroll down, we should see that we actually have web consultant here. So we go back up to the equipment services A to Z listing, and it's on this page too. Now, one thing we do need to keep in mind, these items are just like documents in the rest of the site. We need to ensure that we go through and we publish each one. By rights, we should probably do this for each item as we do it. The reason I hadn't done it yet was simply so that we didn't break up the workflow too much. Now the next point we'll mention is a bit of maintenance. basically we have this item here. It's got several different fields. Now if Obsidian ring up and say, no, Sam Bartlett isn't the right contact, we need to change that, rather than having to change it in every different item, every ABHR entry and every ABHR searchable entry, if we make the change in this one, I'll update it to be Tim and hit save, what that will actually do is go through each of the available Obsidian Consulting items and update it. So if we go back up to Equipment Services A to Z and we sold aspirators, I believe, we should scroll down, see Obsidian, click into it, and now our contact is Tim Godfrey. So that will save you a lot of typing if there are any edits to be done. Now the final point we'll cover is the brand listing. I touched on this earlier. If I hit edit here, I want to add some brands that Obsidian deals with. Now I'll enter a few here. When I hit save, what will actually happen is it will go off to our brand listing set and check for these brands. If these brands don't exist, it will then go and create them. Now obviously bulk handling doesn't have much to do with Plone, Python or CMSs, therefore I dare say that these brands don't exist on the site yet. When I hit save and then go right up to here into our brand and trade name A to Z index, and then enter P for Plone or Python, we'll get all our existing listings, but we'll also see Plone and Python have appeared down here with Obsidian Consulting next to them. So as you can see, we've made quite a few changes here. It will mean that you can add items to your equipment and services guide as people want them added, so you don't need to do the bulk load every time you want to make a change. Now when that bulk load is actually done, when you release your new guide each year, all edits will be removed, so only the items within the database that come from the main equipment services guide will remain in there. Another little note, I suppose, just to finish off this video, is all these changes have been done to staging. There's been no changes done to the live site yet. So go ahead and have a bit of a play with this on staging, and do let us know if there's any changes you want made before we release it live. Thanks.